So the subject of the museum is faith, which is a thing that for some people it's very strong and real, and for some people it's just something they get little glimpses of. But you can recognise it from the trails that it leaves and the tracks that it makes. It's showing you a shadow or an echo of something that you can't see. Each one of these amazing objects is a sign of something bigger.
The Faith Museum is one of the most important new museums to be opening in this country this decade. And what makes it so special is that faith is one of those topics that whether you're religious or you're spiritual or you may have no beliefs at all, it affects your life and it's affected this nation. Because faith touches our livelihoods, our laws, it touches what people eat, it helps influence our traditions and our customs, even our architecture. So many different parts of British life have been impacted by faith, and now we have a museum that helps tell that story through people's personal lives, through incredible objects that have been part of our collection and that are on loan, and through amazing national treasures, some of which are on display for the first time.
I think what people will find exciting about the Faith Museum when they visit is that there's something for everyone. We've got 300 objects, give or take, from 50 different lenders. About a quarter of them are from our own collection. And there's a huge variety. So we have things covering 5,000 years of history, from Neolithic carvings to things that were finished last week. And there really is a great variety. Some things are very important ritual objects, but then we've got things like cups and saucers and tablewares, things maybe that you might have in your own home. It's really whatever interests you and helps you to think about faith.
Some of the objects we'll be displaying all in one case in the Faith Museum are a collection of bronze weapons, and a few thousand years ago they were some of the most expensive and some of the most precious things anyone could own. Yet instead of passing them on to their family or to their friends, people deposited them in the landscape. They would bury them often in wetlands like bogs or rivers or lakes. And we're not quite sure why, but we can speculate. And perhaps it was along the lines of the ways we might put a coin into the well nowadays. Maybe it was an offering to a god. Maybe it was in the hope of a more successful harvest. And I wonder if perhaps we can think now about, is there anything we would give away, and what would we be prepared to give away and for what reason? The final gallery in the Faith Museum will consider the topic of faith in Britain today, and one of the ways we'll explore that is through the work of 8 contemporary artists. Now we're really pleased that one of those artists lives and works locally. Her name is Manny Cambo. And her art brings together ideas of superstition, protection and storytelling.
A lot of the work that I make tends to be influenced by storytelling and the idea of sharing histories and knowledge and the idea of passing down information from generation to generation, and how do we uphold these traditions, these ways of making and creating. The symbols that I use within my work are repeated a lot of the time, linking to notions of continuity, linking to notions of ideas of infinite possibilities and the idea of reincarnation and infinite lives. They're linked to my upbringing in a Sikh household where I was surrounded by rituals, symbolism and religious prayers. Sometimes I use the symbols such as the hand, which could be seen as a stop sign, but I tend to use it as a symbol for the protector, the mother. We've also got the idea of the dot. So the dot for me is a symbol of the beginning and the end, but also the origin of a lot of things. So the idea is that we could begin from this dot, we expand out and we draw back to this dot. When I was younger, I would get a dot placed behind the left ear. You would use a black pen or eyeliner, and the idea of this dot would be to protect you on your journeys throughout your day.
All of the artists whose work we're displaying in the final gallery of the Faith Museum have responded to one of the 3 questions that we start the whole of the Faith Museum with. Those questions are, am I alone? How do I live? And where do I belong? Their answers are really interesting. They have reflected on those questions and the importance in their own lives and also in the work that they display. And we hope that their responses might cause our visitors to consider those 3 questions in their own lives.
faith isn't just about a religion, but is also about community, about connectivity, about people that are coming together, almost like clans and tribes. So it's about that sense of togetherness and what we can gain from that.
The museum is nearly ready. It's going to be opening in October and we can't wait to welcome you there. You'll really, really enjoy it, so do come.